Have you ever been in a situation where you're talking to someone, and you're sure you're being clear, but they completely misunderstand you? Or maybe you've felt frustrated because someone just doesn't get your point, no matter how many times you explain? If you've had these experiences, you're not alone. And that's exactly what this book, Surrounded by Idiots, is all about. This book starts with a simple but powerful idea. Most communication problems aren't because people are stupid or difficult, it's because they are different. We all have our own way of seeing the world, expressing ourselves, and reacting to others. And unless we understand those differences, we'll keep running into misunderstandings, frustration, and unnecessary conflict. The author, a behavioral expert, noticed something interesting over many years of working with people. While everyone is unique, most people tend to fall into certain behavioral patterns. These patterns shape how we speak, how we listen, how we make decisions, and how we relate to others. He realized that when you begin to recognize these patterns, something amazing happens. People suddenly make more sense. So, what is this book really offering? It's a guide to understanding human behavior in a way that's simple, practical, and useful in everyday life. It doesn't require a psychology degree or years of training. You just need to understand a few basic principles and practice noticing them in the people around you. Why do we struggle to understand each other? The truth is, we tend to assume that other people think like we do. We believe that our logic, our emotions, our way of speaking should make sense to others. But the reality is very different. Every person filters what they hear through their own background, values, and personality. So even if your message is clear to you, it might come across very differently to the listener. This gap between what we say and what is understood is where most communication breakdowns happen. We often blame others when communication fails. We might think, they just don't listen, or they're impossible to talk to. But in many cases, the real issue is that we're speaking in a way that doesn't match how the other person receives information. The 4 behavior types. The rest of this book explains a model that helps solve this problem. It's based on the DISA system, a method used to understand different behavior styles. The author uses colors to represent 4 basic personality types: red, bold, results-driven, and fast-paced; yellow, social, optimistic, and enthusiastic; green, calm, loyal, and supportive; blue, detail-oriented, logical, and cautious. Each color represents a different way of thinking, feeling, and interacting. And once you understand how these styles work, you'll be able to adjust your communication to fit the person you're talking to. But here's something important. This system is not about labeling people or putting them into strict categories. It's simply a tool, a way to understand patterns in behavior that show up again and again. And like any tool, it's only helpful if you use it with care and respect. Communication is not one size fits all. Most people communicate based on what they prefer. If you like fast, direct conversation, you probably expect others to be the same. If you like calm, thoughtful discussions, that's what you're likely to offer. But this approach often backfires, because the person you're talking to may not respond well to your natural style. That's why flexibility is the key to better communication. When you're willing to adjust your approach to match the listener's needs, you remove resistance. Instead of making them feel uncomfortable or misunderstood, you create a space where real understanding can happen. This doesn't mean being fake. It simply means being aware and respectful of differences. No system is perfect, and that's okay. Now, let's be honest. No personality model is perfect. People are too complex to be fully explained by 4 colors or any single theory. We are shaped by so many things: culture, upbringing, education, age, gender, emotions, and life experiences. So, this book doesn't claim to explain everything. It won't give you all the answers. But what it does provide is a practical framework, a starting point to help you avoid the most common mistakes and improve how you connect with others. The model has been tested in workplaces, schools, leadership training, and personal development programs. It's helped millions of people better understand themselves and the people they work or live with. But it's still just a tool, not a magic solution. Understanding behavior is a superpower. Once you start seeing the patterns in how people behave, a lot of things begin to make sense. You stop taking things personally. You stop thinking that someone is difficult just because they're not like you. Instead, you begin to ask, what kind of person is this? What do they need from me in this conversation? How can I speak so they'll truly hear me? This shift in mindset can make you a better leader, a better parent, a better partner, and a better friend. Everyone's behavior is normal to them. Here's another key idea from the introduction. There is no single, right way to behave. What feels normal and natural to you might seem odd or even annoying to someone else, and vice versa. That's why judging people based on your own standards often leads to misunderstanding. Instead, it's more helpful to recognize that people are doing what feels right to them, even if it doesn't make sense to you. This doesn't mean you have to accept harmful behavior. But when you understand someone's communication style, you can respond in ways that are more likely to get through to them, without drama or conflict. Final thought: you're not surrounded by idiots. So let's return to the title, Surrounded by Idiots. It sounds harsh, but it's meant to be thought-provoking. The truth is, you're not really surrounded by idiots. You're surrounded by people who communicate differently from you. And once you start to understand these differences, you'll see fewer idiots and more unique individuals with their own strengths, weaknesses, and ways of seeing the world. This book is your guide to navigating those differences, not by changing other people, but by learning how to adjust yourself in small but powerful ways. That's the introduction. In the next video, we'll explore Chapter 1, where we'll dive deeper into the idea that communication always happens on the listener's terms, not the speaker's. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series.